Today's the day, or in a squat rack. Let's get it. I've saved up my money. I'm ready to do a home gym. Okay, roguefitness.com, monster rack. Wait, what's happening? I'll try somewhere else. Maybe they're just out of stock. Let's go to Amazon. Okay, let's go to Amazon squat rack. They've got to have something in stock. Okay, here we go. Okay. Wait. What is happening? Okay, there's got to be something used or something on Facebook Marketplace. Okay, here we go. Facebook, squat rack. What the freak is happening? No! All right, I guess I'll go check again. I swear, if I can't get a squat rack today, I'm gonna be so freaking pissed. What? Not only is it in stock, but it's 40% higher? What is going on? Hello my friends, this is Coop from Garage Gym Reviews, and if you're like me, you realize that gym equipment is absolutely out of stock everywhere. It's a question we often get is why the freak can I not order any equipment? Well, the big thing in play is the pandemic. Everybody kind of knows that. There was a sudden increase in demand for gym equipment that caused all these companies to basically sell out of everything they had in stock, and then they're trying to figure out, okay, how do we get it back in stock? And we've seen some price increases from companies simply trying to leverage the demand and the fervor that's in the market for gym equipment and sell it for more prices. However, that's kind of like an artificial decision. There wasn't really many extraneous factors that caused that other than them trying to increase their margins. However, I have 3 reasons why gym equipment is going to increase dramatically in 2021, and this is why. Okay, the first reason, and this is the biggest one and the one I want to spend the most time on, is that steel prices are going to jump up dramatically. Okay, let me kind of paint the picture for you. When COVID-19 happened in the pandemic, this is a global pandemic we're in, as you're all aware. So it's not just affecting steel made in the US or Canada or some of these other places. It's affecting everywhere. And the steel market is generally global. So the way it affects steel in China, it can also affect steel in the US and other places as well. So the pandemic happened. Suddenly a lot of these mills that are making steel are no longer running at the capacities they were previously. They're not running the capacities because, you know, they're trying to socially distance and apply to some of these laws and things like that. So they're not running at the rate they're currently going at. Well, despite that, that doesn't mean the use of steel had gone down. In fact, steel usage has increased dramatically. So suddenly you have a dip in the amount of steel that's being made and an increase in the amount of steel that's being used. So suddenly there may not be a short-term problem there, but eventually there will be, and that's what we're coming up on. There will be an increase in overall steel prices of 40 to 45% this year. And I wouldn't just say this year, it's gonna come up here in a couple weeks. So before I recorded this video, I went under a home gym community Facebook group where we have a lot of company reps and just people that have some industry knowledge. I'll put a link below the like button if you'd like to check it out. However, what I did was I went through the list and kind of saw what people were talking about. And I found some interesting tidbits from company representatives and basically industry know-how. So in the group, there's been quite a few companies and people that have discussed prices increasing. There's a few in particular that I think are worth noting. One is Rip Fitness has basically said, yes, prices are increasing, so that will affect their prices. This is gonna happen across the board, but one that I found pretty interesting was from a guy named David Dennis, who owns kind of a smaller boutique company called Gorilla Strength Equipment. And this is what he says. He says, guys, just got off the phone with our steel purchasing agent, 200 to 300% increase in our raw steel price. This isn't speculation. To keep this perspective, the steel tariff only resulted in a net 40% steel increase. For those that aren't aware, there's a steel tariff for importing steel that came about from Trump. I don't know how that's going to affect with Biden, but it's a reality. And he says, I usually try to secure steel, months in advance, which most people do. And he's not trying to fearmonger, but higher demand steel with closer to 300% and lower demand will be closer to 200% is what he's seeing for price increase. Now, I don't think that's going to be kind of across the board. More of what I'm seeing is 40 to 50%. But another one that came out was Legend Fitness. Legend Fitness is a company that makes equipment primarily marketed towards university gyms and also commercial gyms. They compete directly with like Sorinex and Hammer Strength and some of the others. Well, they sent an email out a couple weeks ago to every customer that had an inquiry to them and every customer probably that they've used, basically urging them, hey, if you want to order gym equipment, now is the time to order. And what they said was, we recently have been notified that the cost of most raw materials, mainly steel and lumber, is about to increase in price due to the global economic effects of COVID-19, obviously. Specifically, we're expecting the cost of our steel to increase by around 45%. The majority of our items' price will increase in February, in the early part of February. So these are companies that are coming out and stating our prices are going to increase. And this is something where, we've been tracking prices on the site for quite a while. And the fact of the matter is most companies have kept their prices pretty even. And they haven't really increased prices that much due to the pandemic. There are some companies here and there that have increased somewhat dramatically, trying to basically take advantage of there being such high demand and low supply. But largely it's been pretty, flat. However, you need to understand that the price of your squat rack, the price of your barbell, the price of your dumbbells, your plates, your kettlebells, that all takes steel. It's all made of steel. Majority of gym equipment is using some form of steel. Because of that, in the short term, it's going to increase in price. Now, there's other factors that are playing here. The other one is shipping. Shipping rates are going to increase as well. Last year, we saw both UPS and FedEx increase prices for shipping. It was something that they did basically because there was so much demand for ordering online, going through e-commerce versus brick and mortar. So because they're trying to keep up with demand and they're also dealing with the effects of social distancing and people being out because they're sick and all that sort of thing, they had to increase prices as well. But they made a forecast, both UPS and FedEx, stating that they were going to increase prices about 5% in this first quarter going forward, which could increase even more over time. And then lastly, the other thing that has to be factored in is the increase in price of importing things from China and these other countries. Because all this e-commerce business has increased, which a lot of it is imported products, because of that, the prices of the shipping coming from China, where they're also affected by the virus and the pandemic that's going on, has increased demand for that as well. So they're having trouble. There's a bottleneck, basically, is what I've seen on Wall Street Journal and Washington Post, about getting shipping containers from China and these other places over to the US. So it's just all these compounding factors that are playing into the fact that if you want to order gym equipment, buy now. I mean, there's basically, if you have any idea of building a home gym within the next year or so, because I can't predict when it's going to come back. There's some people that are saying it's 6 to 12 months, the prices could come back down to normal. But even if that does happen, consumers are going to be used to the prices they're paying. And so the companies really, they may not come down on the prices. So what I would say is if you want a home gym within the next 6 months to a year, you probably want to do it pretty soon. And I'm not saying that just so you buy more gym equipment, but if you don't want to pay more prices, now's probably a time. And I know it's difficult because you're like, well, what equipment am I going to buy because nothing's in stock? There is a stock increase from what we're seeing previously. It's not dramatic, but there is a bit more stock. So you can buy some barbells and plates and things like that. But just understand that going forward for 2021, prices are going to be more expensive. Do you have any experience in this area? Do you expect prices to increase? Are you in any industries that you're seeing price increase, or do you know anything about steel? Let me know in the comments. I would love to talk about it because it's something I'm interested in, and I think other people are as well. We'll see you next time. This is Coop. Peace.